Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Nadia binti Razali. My matrix number is D201920905006. For our assignment 1, my team and I are required to conduct a hierarchical task analysis HTA based on the study scenario given. We provide the HTA in graphical view. So as you can see, there is the major task, which is COVID-19 educational video. Then we have the subtask, which contains introduction, precaution and prevention, do's, don'ts, and links. There are also 5 typical task analysis questions. The first question, who is the users? Considering the main purpose of developing this video is to give awareness to the public, which it is contains of novice, intermediate, expert, and disabled people. Therefore, the delivery technique should be suitable for all groups. Next question is, what is the task? To identify the task, we refer to the hierarchical task analysis, where we have a major task and it is divided into several component parts. The major task is educational video about COVID-19, and the component parts are introduction about COVID-19, precaution and prevention, do's and don'ts, also links to the website which leads people to more accurate information about COVID-19 situation. The third question is, what is the environment? The environment that we use is online. We create an apps to make it easier for all people. The fourth question is, what is the interaction devices and the interaction styles? The interaction devices that we use is mobile phone, and interaction styles are direct manipulation, that is graphical user interface GUI or iconic interface, which use input devices such as keyboard, mouse, touchscreen, and so forth. And the last question is how to design and evaluate it. We translate the hierarchical task analysis into form of paper prototyping, and we evaluate it by using use and impact evaluation, which conducted during the actual use of the product by the real user in real context. Next, we have to create a persona that demonstrates the task necessary to achieve our goals. So this is our persona. We get the idea from the internet and interpret it in our styles.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Saya Nurul Atira binti Azizan bernombor metrik D201902090524. Saya akan menerangkan tentang apa itu prototype. Prototype merupakan satu jenis, bentuk atau contoh dari beberapa perkara yang asli dan yang berfungsi. Sebagai contoh, ia merupakan asas, lambang atau standard untuk perkara-perkara yang lain tetapi daripada kategori yang sama. Prototype bukanlah projek yang perlu dibuat secara bukan real, tidak berfungsi dan hanya sekadar bentuknya sahaja. Tetapi, prototype adalah projek yang perlu dibuat dari bahan yang betul dan boleh berfungsi. Perbezaannya cuma ianya tidak betul-betul cantik dari segi kekemasan. Dalam human-computer interaction, prototype boleh dijadikan sesuatu seperti siri lakaran skrin, storyboard seperti lakaran siri kartun, slide PowerPoint, simulasi video tentang penggunaan sistem, Palm Pilot, model kad Manila atau perisian yang belum lengkap fungsinya. Kenapa perlu bangunkan prototype? Ini adalah kerana penilaian dan maklum balas adalah fokus utama dalam human-computer interaction. Stakeholder juga boleh melihat, memegang dan berinteraksi dengan prototype dengan lebih mudah berbanding dengan dokumen dan rajah. Developer group juga boleh berkomunikasi secara efektif dan prototype dapat menangani isu, membantu designer dalam memilih di antara alternatif reka bentuk.
Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Nama saya Rayhana Husna binti Muhammad Rizwan. Metrik nombor saya D201920900525. Saya akan teruskan dengan prototype group kami. Ini adalah paparan prototype group kami yang terdiri daripada 6 menu utama, iaitu Home, Information, Precaution and Prevention, Do's, Don'ts dan Link. Jika pengguna ingin mengetahui apakah yang dimaksudkan dengan COVID-19, mereka perlu menekan butang Information. Seterusnya adalah Precaution and Prevention. Terdapat 3 pilihan, iaitu Symptom, Prevention, Treatment and Vaccination. Jika pengguna ingin melihat apakah simptom COVID-19, mereka hanya perlu menekan butang Symptom. Langkah yang sama juga jika pengguna ingin mengetahui tentang prevention COVID-19. Pengguna hanya perlu menekan butang prevention. Untuk treatment and vaccination, paparan ini hanya memaparkan tentang treatment. Oleh itu, pengguna perlu menekan butang next untuk mengetahui info berkaitan vaccination. Untuk mengetahui tentang perkara yang perlu dilakukan bagi mengelak daripada jangkitan COVID-19, pengguna perlu menekan butang DOS. Menu don'ts pula adalah untuk mengetahui perkara yang tak boleh dilakukan ketika pandemik ini. Bagi mendapatkan maklumat lanjut berkaitan COVID-19 dan vaksin, pengguna perlu menekan butang link. Menu link ini akan memaparkan organisasi dan pihak yang terlibat dengan COVID-19. Link ini akan navigate pengguna ke portal rasmi KKM, Facebook KKM, Twitter KKM, WHO, vaksin dan juga MySejahtera. Butang home di sebelah kanan ini pula akan navigate pengguna untuk kembali ke halaman utama.
Hi everyone, I'm Gunavati Dr. Subramaniam. My metric number is D20191087-062. Today I want to explain about the assignment 2, which is usability evaluation method. At here I want to talk about 4 parts. The first is introduction about evaluation. The second is the type of evaluation that we use in this group project. The third is approaches or techniques that we use in this group project. And the fourth is method that we use in this group project. First is introduction about evaluation. Evaluation is expected to dispose of any issues that may be happen inside the framework. It gathers data and about the users or potential users encounters when utilizing or communicating with model, PC framework, segment of a PC framework, or plan NTQ. Evaluation is a cycle by which the interface is tried against the necessities and practices of the client. It is imperative to evaluate the framework as far as what part of, when, and how the UI will be tried and by whom the testing will be finished. Evaluation is a determination of the significance, worth, condition, or value by careful appraisal and study. An evaluation method must be selected carefully and appropriately. The second is the type of evaluation that we use in this group project. In this COVID-19 educational video app, we had used the use and impact type of evaluation. The use and impact evaluation provides information about the impacts produced by an intervention. The definition of use and impact evaluation goes past portraying or estimating impacts that have happened to trying to comprehend the job of the intercession in delivering this casual attribution can incorporate an expansive scope of techniques for casual attribution and incorporates analyzing accidental effects. The reason that why we choose use an impact evaluation is an effect evaluation can be embraced to improve or reorient a mediation. In example, for developmental purposes or to educate choices about whether to proceed, suspend, repeat, or scale up an intercession. In example, for summative purposes. Frequently, impact evaluation is utilized for summative purposes. In a perfect world, a summative effect evaluation doesn't just create discoveries about what works, yet in addition, give data about what is expected to make the mediation work for various gathering in various settings. And evaluability evaluation should be done first to survey the viewpoints. Focusing on intercession for impact evaluation ought to consider the significance of the assessment to the hierarchical or advancement procedure, its expected handliness, the responsibility from ranking directors or strategic creators to utilizing its discoveries, and additionally its like use for support or responsibility prerequisites. In COVID-19 educational video app, we focus around answering a small number of high-level key evaluation questions, which is KEQS, that will be answered through a combination of evidence. These questions should be clearly linked to the evaluative criteria. For example, KEQ1, what is the quality of intervention design or content in the app? The app assessing the relevance info about the COVID-19. It is equity and gender equality. The info will display over whom opened the app and also assessing efficiency. The KEQ2. How well was the intervention implemented or and adapted as needed? The app will give background knowledge about the COVID-19, the precautions and prevention, do's, don'ts, and the links. It will be assessing effectively. The KEQ3. Did the intervention produce the intended result in short, medium, or long term? the COVID-19 educational video app produced the intended result in medium term. It is because we had used online environment for this application. It will take time to reach to user about this application. KEQ 4. How valuable were the result to service providers, clients, and the community or organization involved? The application result is very valuable to service providers and clients. It will help to prevent us from the virus COVID-19 and make awareness among clients, and also the user will know about the current details about the vaccination and other details in link JKJAB, KKCAM, and the WHO. Okay, the next is the approaches or the techniques that we use in this COVID-19 educational video application. Usability testing evaluation about the COVID-19 educational video application happened about 1 week after the application created. In usability testing approach, representative users work on typical tasks using the system, and the evaluators use the result to see how the user interface supports the users to do their tasks at a later stage of design for ensuring consistency in navigation structure, use of terms, and how the system responds to the user. Measuring characteristics of users' performance on specific tasks, generally done by noting the number and kinds of errors that users make and recording the time that it takes to complete the task. The evaluation asking users feedback in review part. The user will send their feedback as a review on the application. It will help evaluators to know user satisfaction on the application. The evaluators of application will be observing user with doing the questionnaire survey to know the satisfaction of user on the application. Moreover, the evaluators observing user as randomly choose user to asking their feedback with interview them to elicit their opinion. So the last part is method that we use in this group project, which is observational and survey evaluation. Based on PRIS 1993, we consider four usability evaluation methods, which is observational evaluation, survey evaluation, experimental evaluation, and expert evaluation. The different methods imply different style of evaluators, number of users, and type of data to be collected. The evaluation method that used for this COVID-19 educational video application are observational evaluation and survey evaluation. Observational evaluation implies collecting data that provide information about what users do when interacting with educational software. Several data collection techniques may be used. Survey are employed to know users' opinions or to understand their preferences about an existing or potential product through the use of interview or questionnaire. Surveys and questionnaires are used to collect the information from a large group of respondents, and interviews, including focus group, are used to collect the information from a small key set of respondents. Data gathering. Data gathering for survey and questionnaire written user surveys are familiar, inexpensive, and generally acceptable comparison for usability tests and expert reviews. Users could be asked for their subjective impressions about specific aspect of the interface, such as the representation of the task, domain object, and action, and syntax of inputs and design of display. For our COVID-19 educational video application, the other goal that we ascertain user background with age, gender, origins, education, and the income, experience with computers with a specific application, length of time and depth of knowledge, and their feeling after using as an interface as a review, such as a bored or excited, confused or clear. We did the survey in open question. It was good for gaining information or a broad basis because they allow the respondents to answer in any way they choose. The type of questionnaire that used in a Scala questionnaire, which is the multi-point rating scale, and a simple feature checklist as a picture below. Thank you. That's all for me.